Mhm. Hi, you guys. Excuse the really disgusting hair. I did nothing but move my body today. Hmm, that's interesting. Have some Scorpios in my room, do I? Candles don't want to light. Nothing against Scorpios. We all know my chart is dominated by the sign of Scorpio. I'm going to burn a lavender candle and a protection candle. Kind of cleanse the energy. I want to read you guys a text message between a girlfriend of mine today and myself. And I'm reading it to you for a very specific reason. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate all your donations. Super Chats actually takes half, but if you want to donate, and I appreciate it anyway, it really does add up. If you want to donate to the channel directly, it's Venmo. It's Andrea-Cox-16. And I love that as well. Let's take a little drink of my aloe water and I'm going to get started. This isn't going to be very long. There's a reason I'm doing this particular reading. And that reason is because of something that happened today. And, you know, I'm a woman. Women get asked out probably a lot more than men do. It happens. It always happens. I kind of think men see blonde hair and they men are men. But I've been pretty closed off the past, I would say, year and a half. I did open myself to one person, but I didn't open my heart to him. I wish I would have, but, you know, things happen. God, my hair is bad. That's really bad. At any rate, so I was at the gym today. I'm going to read you this text message between a friend of mine. She actually works at the gym. Oh my gosh, I have. Okay. I got the cutest picture of my nephew. He's so handsome. So I said, okay, I'll just call my friend M. I'll call her M because I don't want to use her name. I said, M, okay, the silver fox just asked me out and I flaked. You need to step in and give him my number. He literally made a beeline for me and said, quote, can I ask you something? Are you single? And then I wrote, and Marissa, I flaked. I said, sure, I'll leave my number at the front desk. And of course I didn't. He also said, maybe we can have a drink sometime. And I immediately looked at him and said, I don't drink. And then I said, WTF. I said, what is wrong with me? I'm just going to cover her name. I said, guarded much? because that's the closed off, right, way that women get when they've been hurt, right? I have a pretty good track record. I've only been hurt twice. One was very minimal impact. I wasn't with the person that long. I think he was still into his ex or something. And then another one, but we did live together. We were engaged, so it kind of sucked. And then another one, but we weren't together but like 6 months. I know, engaged at 6 months. That's crazy. Another one hurt a lot. It wasn't my longest relationship, but it was a relationship nonetheless. Aren't my gladiolas beautiful? They're stunning. And I have held on to that. And so I want to explain something to both men and women. A lot of people are in reflection right now, and the masculine is seen where they went wrong by, not communicating, not being clear with their intentions. So a lot of you have dealt with a person that was very in and out of your life, okay? And when you brought up commitment, they fled. Some of them went back to their past. Others of them had their eye on someone new. But there was a lack of divine consciousness. There was a lack of speaking. There was a lack of communication that left you very hurt and very wounded. And I did a great Libra reading yesterday, and I want you all to watch it because I think that it came out that way for a reason. It came out very, how should I say this? Flowy, where I described like 5 people just with cards. So a woman's mind, or even a man's mind, right? If you've ever been gaslighted, ghosted, etc., after like literally being in a really long, drawn out relationship with someone, you find out they're a commitment phobe, whatever, and they lead you to believe like they have every intention of leading this somewhere, you're spending time with their family on Christmas, yada, yada, yada. It's extremely jolting. And so when things end, they need to end in a proper way. We're not meant to be enemies with people. We're meant to speak openly. Now, this person did try to come back. Okay. Whether this person wants to admit that or not is another story. They did a few times. But when they came back, it was very, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's that. It was very monetary. And so I was working with a client. I've been working with him a lot, actually, a client out of New York, and he's going through a situation with his wife. And I said, man, just hear her. Please hear her. Make her feel validated, please. This guy has been such a good teacher for me as a client because he reminds me so much of it. It was like God sent him to like allow me to voice things that I never got to voice. This is why we find our healers. He's a highly intelligent man. This is my client. And he's got a beautiful, very beautiful, very outspoken, very outspoken wife. And I thought, God, this reminds me of something, and I just can't. Oh, okay, I got it. So when that happened today, and when I call this guy a silver fox, I mean he is a silver fox. when that happened today, and I haven't dated. I do get asked out. I do turn people away. I did try to open myself up to someone, but he wasn't. There was a disconnect in what we wanted. I am a relationship person. I'm a commitment person. I'm not kind of a one night stand person. I'm just not. I've been in 3 relationships totaling 16 and a half years. And one was 10 years, one was 5 years. So I'm very relationship oriented. And so even though I know I had a soul bond with someone over the past, year and a half, uh, it wasn't going to work for me to just not be. But a lot of that was my fault too, because I wasn't letting go of the past, which I have fully let go of. I I have. But what happened today, getting asked out and me reacting the way I did, made me feel like maybe some of you are going through this too, where you're very closed off to people and you're getting approached and you're shutting yourself down. Now, I'm not telling you you should jump into something with someone. Is calling me? That just frustrates me. It's LA. Um, my apologies. So sorry, you guys. So I'd like to do just a quick read, a masculine and feminine side, and it is going to be quick, you guys. It's going to be quick because I have a client call at 8 p.m. Okay. So yeah, okay, divine consciousness. So I think I mentioned divine consciousness a few minutes ago. That is what the masculine is finally coming to light with. So they know the importance of your time together and what you taught them. There's a need to, how should I say this? The feminine has spoken for the masculine, kind of like what I'm doing now. So then they don't have to step up and speak, which is not really wise. But for a lot of you, you feel when this person is coming back around. So for many of you, this person parted ways with someone. It could have been from their past, and they were starting to come back around you. And every time you feel them coming back around, without that clarity of communication that should have happened, without that phone call or without that reaching out of what should have happened, you become very, very, your energy becomes very, very closed off. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope that makes sense. What I get from my male clients is they don't really understand. They don't understand that when you say something, first of all, they don't understand how exhausting this is. The divine feminine is still resting and recuperating over everything they've been taken through. When I say the divine feminine, here are the feminine I'm talking to. I am not talking to an ex-wife or ex-girlfriend of 20 years who meddled in their ex's business so his relationship would fail. I am not talking to someone new who flirted with the divine masculine while they knew they were in a partnership, who maybe shared words that put the divine masculine down to the divine feminine. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about those who were in a solid partnership for the last 3 to 5 years. I hope I can make that clear. Or maybe you've been in a relationship for 15 or 20 years, and but this is not someone who would have bailed on you for 5 years, you know? Okay, just making that clear. So, we have the rainbow dragon and the rest. So, the divine feminine is showing up beautiful, having a rebirth. Some of you may be dragons in the Chinese culture. I know I am. We have 2 dolphins here. Some of you may have fallen in love by the water. Some of you may be going to a trip to Hawaii. Some of you may be, this looks very tropical, it's pretty. For some of you, your person was sent to wake you up. They're not in a good space as far as loyalty, loving, kind energy at this time. But that little crystal coming out of the head has a purpose. And that purpose was for you to find your calling. The problem is, as they were listening to others, we have the community card, and you see this gentleman is getting just burned at the stake, right? As they were listening to others' opinions, friends, family, no, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. They're just now catching on that that's not the way to go. A lot of them have not reached this point yet. They're still allowing other people's opinions to control them. But while they were busy with, community, maybe you were tending to your animals, maybe you were finding out about totem animals, maybe you were researching past lives, okay? This is a big thing here because for a lot of you, divine feminine, you've created something. Yeah, we get the abundance card. I can't make this up. You've created something that's brought you into a place of abundance and not having, we all need other people, but you're not needing this person like you did in the past, and that actually bothers them, whether they want to admit it or not. It bothers them. It bothers them. Now, for some, the divine feminine did not do this. For others, you've created something that, well, you're never going to have to worry about your coin again. And that is a beautiful thing. You're not like, rolling in it. Some of you may be. I want to get a card that symbolizes the divine masculine. I feel like we have 2 divine masculine here. I feel like we have the one that really some of you feel like maybe you never got closure in a situation. Some of you actually left. Some of you actually walked away, and that's a beautiful thing. But it was after they returned because they weren't returning to you in the correct manner. It was like pushing something under the rug for the umpteenth time, right? What I say to my male clients, and this is vitally important, there is nothing worse than a woman hearing that she's crazy when she asks a question that you know is true. If a woman is inquiring about something, please, 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 don't make the mistake of shoving it under the rug. But a lot of them are learning that. They're also learning about how karma comes back to them. A lot of them could have went back to the past. They could have, whatever happened, that didn't work out, whatever happened. And in the interim, the soulmate you met or the person you bonded with, there was something surrounding that that was a real lesson. For a few of you, it wasn't a lesson. It was more of a, it wasn't, it was more of a little, we'll just leave that out. Be careful if you are a single mother. Don't know where that's coming from. I have the same card that's trying to come out again and again. The word wants to be written. Some of you are writers, and you're writing on a certain subject. I know I am. You have a very bold vision. And it may not come into fruition with this person. And I think for a big part of you, that's perfectly okay. And for another part of you, that's not. You need to be in a place of full acceptance because, to be honest with you, I think at this point, a lot of you are completely closed off to the past. And that's okay. It is. Don't close yourself off to these people trying to come in right now. And don't close yourself off to, assess the soulmate situation and see what that's really about before moving forward, because there's a lot of things hidden there as well. Okay. The feminine is showing up as against the grain. This is someone who does something completely, how should I say this, unexpected and does not care about what other people think. Well, we know that girl. They're also showing up as the sacred fool, new beginning. They're ready for a new beginning. The masculine is showing up as seeing the true you. We have life path number 2, life path number 9. So they're showing up as seeing the real you for the first time. Also, as she feels, she knows. And for a lot of you, I have to say this, you don't know. You don't know what really went on. I do a lot of readings for women, and actually I had one wake me up at it was like 5 a.m. today. She didn't get the time difference, but I was already awake, but I was like, gosh. But a lot of you are like, I get these texts from you all the time. I get these messages, and it's like, my ex is with so and so, and I show up as the empress, and she shows up as the devil, and he shows up as the king of, and you really don't know how to really interpret the cards, because the cards rarely show up as the sign. Very rarely do they show up as the sign. Very rarely. I see men all the time show up as the Empress, as the Queen of Wands, when they're taking better care of themselves. I see women show up as a King of Swords when she's fighting her process and running off at the mouth. And we've all done that. So I want to read to you, and I usually don't do that, but I want to read you this card because it is my favorite card in this entire deck, and it is for a reason, because I feel like this is how all women should actually live and how we evolve, and is if we take on this energy, the energy of the sacred fool, of embracing a new beginning, whether it's by yourself or with someone else, And going against the grain, that doesn't mean you have to be an evil, wicked witch of the West. You can be if you'd like, if that's where you feel you need to be at this time. But you have to let that go at some point. Women who act as if, you know, they're scorned and they're hurt and they're blah, 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 blah. For long periods of time, they show up as the magician reversed in readings. I always know when a magician reverse comes out during a reading and I'm speaking to a woman that she is scorned beyond belief. So, what you're being asked to do is, you've got abundance, Jesus. Utilize that and focus your energy on your kids, on your parents, on your siblings, on your nieces, on your nephews, on your craft, on your, my God, you guys, I've spent the last 2 weekends learning how to make mojo bags from some crazy people I know, and learning how to, like, making magic wands out of, sticks I found in the parking lot at Equinox. It was so taking out my tarot coloring book and coloring, going to the farmer's market, getting gladiolas, because they're so pretty. Feed your soul. Doing yoga. Taking the time to oil my hair before bed. Making sure my space is super clean and decluttered. Making travel plans. Doing things that I know are going to grow me as a person and fuel my soul. I started thinking, this sounds horrible. I don't even know if I should share this. I'm not going to share it. No way. But no. 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 It'll make me sound really shallow, and I'm not going to share it, but it's the truth. You don't need a man or a woman, if you're in a same-sex relationship, or men who maybe were dependent on a woman. You don't need that woman. You don't need a person if you want to travel. You don't need a person if you want to enjoy a beautiful meal for yourself. I spent 7 years single and celibate in Ohio in this big house by myself. And those are the 7 years I taught myself about raw living food and veganism and detox. It was the most spiritual time of my life. I had a short 3 months of a really heightened spiritual time, November, December, January, the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. And that's when I started this business. That was the second time. But the first time was that whole expansion of 7 years that I spent alone. God, if you cannot be alone with yourself, you will not be good with anyone else. Please know that. If your life is reliant on a partner, oh my God, have you got it backwards? Have you got it backwards? And I remember telling my mom about, I don't know, it was about 3 months ago. I said, Mom, I might not get married, and it's by choice. And she just laughed. And my mom's okay with that because my mom knows the beauty of being able to be alone in the peace and being able to do what you want when you want. And it's a beautiful feeling. I've been engaged 3 times, 3 rings I've worn on my hand, 3 rings. And I've given them all back. The one I kept, but I deserved it. And there's a reason I gave them all back. They were all great humans, but they weren't the man for me. And so if you think that being alone somehow shows you as some type of, Lilith character, you all know who Lilith is. Lilith was beautiful. So the story of Lilith is Adam, her husband, did not like when Lilith was on top in the bedroom, right? So he complained and went and I don't know, found someone else or something like that. But the true story is that Lilith left Adam and went out into the desert to create her own beautiful sanctuary. And she lived a very fulfilling, creative life with lots of passion and lots of. So don't think for a second. And do I want a partner? Absolutely. Yeah, I want a partner. Yeah, sure. But my God, would I be okay living my life solo? You better believe it. All right. So don't think for a second that something, and I think women struggle with this more than men, that something is wrong with you if you are not in some type of relationship where, especially if you have to compromise your beliefs, if you have to compromise a lot of your time. My God, I look at my last relationship and I would never, if I could get, I wouldn't have done, and I'm talking about myself here, would not have done half the things I did. And one of the things was like just it was like constant, like just go, go, go. And there was such a like, we were just like, so like, it was, I'm the type of person that like, I love to travel. And then I love like a home place, a home base, something that's like a sanctuary, a home, but something where like I'm okay, you know, and I feel like I can trust someone if they go off for 2 weeks or something, or if they vacation with a group of friends. I'm a very trusting person. You have to be with someone that you can trust. And if you guys are up in here and you're trying to force someone to love you, or you are waiting on someone, you are in the wrong chat room. You are doing the wrong thing. Be the fool. Let me read this to you. You want birds to be able to fly underwater. You want love to trump power. You want humanity to relate to each other as equals and to recognize the sacredness in you and in the world around you. You want to unleash the beauty that hides in even the ugliest of scenes or sentiments. You want to make possible what others say cannot be. You are a radical dreamer, a sacred rebel, and you bring the light of a more positive future to this world. However, this can have its burdens. Deep within you, you feel that you don't really fit in with the rest of the world. How many of you feel that way? However, perhaps your sense of how things can be and how they really are is so different to the smaller minds or more fearful hearts of many others that you are rarely received for all that you offer. This might make you feel frustrated, thwarted, or lonely at times. The universe so loves you for your unusual take on things, for the quirkiness in you that dares to honor that which is different and renders the impossible possible. You must never lose hope. Your unusual ways, don't lose your unusual ways and become dry, serious, appropriate, and lose your essence. You are here to show that life is about so much more than conventional success. This is a special message for you. You are someone who lives and breathes in the depths of creative waters. You need to lose yourself in the flow of music, nature, dreams, imagination, fantasy, water, long Epsom salt baths, deep dives in the ocean, through art, meditation, yoga, dance, sensual surrender to the sacred waters, even a river or the bathtub, whatever you have. You have to go against the grain because it's your way. You're not a force of disruptful chaos. You're a force of creativity. Some of you are poets. Some of you are writers. Some of you are artists. I don't care if you're a makeup artist or if you paint. Some of you, your parents never pushed this and encouraged it. My mom did. She did. Both my parents did, actually. I can remember my dad getting us these unique coloring books full of, I mean, they were so eccentric. They were so different. They were wild. They had pictures like these cards way before their time. Way before their time. My mom got called in when I was in third grade by my teacher, Mrs. Sturmock, no, Mrs. Robinson, and she presented my mom with something I had wrote that brought her to tears, and I was in third grade. My mom got me a notebook and a little pencil set. My parents encouraged, they were divorced when I was 3 and my dad died when I was 10, but they encouraged creativity. They encouraged it. And they weren't hippies either. They just encouraged it. I'm so grateful that I had my parents. So grateful. I could literally cry because I know if I wouldn't have had them, I wouldn't write and do and create, and I would feel weird about smashing lavender on a candle for 5 minutes. I would feel like that's a waste of time. I would feel weird about wanting to pick up a stick or something on the beach or something that I see as art, right? And that someone else sees as like trash. Please, 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 please embrace your creativity. Embrace taking care of your body. Embrace going to yoga. I miss yoga today, but I went to the gym. And I got asked out, and what did I do? I shot him down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept, and I'm going to embrace being treated to a beautiful vegan dinner. I'm going to embrace being able to have someone over and not being afraid that someone's in the bushes or something. You know, I'm going to embrace this. And so should you. And if you're working on something, that's beautiful. And if someone comes back and you feel justified in the words that they say to you or the truths that may or may not be given, then I am so proud of you for that as well. But what I don't want you to do is, I don't want you to do what I did today. And I think the universe, God, my angels made that happen, because as soon as that happened, I was like, oh God, what did I just, Andrea, oh my God. A lot of you are suffering from a low self-esteem. You're suffering from a low self-esteem because I'm going to be honest with you. You were made to feel like you were less than, right? The love bombing, the flowers every day, the like for on God, oh my God, I'm in love with, and then the gaslighting, the ghosting, then the showing up whenever you were trying to move on. That was there as a test. That was there, and it made you feel you were being made to feel broken down. It's the truth. And I know you guys don't like to hear that. A lot of you do not like to hear that. There is no other reason other than wanting to break down a person's self-esteem and self-worth than ghosting. That's a very vindictive, you know, trust me. Someone can ghost you one day, buy you a car the next, ghost you the next. It's a very unstable energy that was put in place to break your self-esteem down. And what happened is you had a beautiful person come in that was sent from heaven, probably a past life person, for sure, that tried to build you back up, but you were too shut down. And I bet each and every one of you have one day of regret where you just keep thinking about that one day, like, oh God, I wish I wouldn't have ran away when that person showed up at the gym and I had called out for him 5 minutes earlier, right? Not your ex, but someone else. And what that was your low self-esteem. You didn't feel good enough. And why was that? Because the person before had totally cut you down. They had broken you down. Broken you down. But that's not even their fault because they're learning their lessons too. They're learning their lessons too. They had a lot of anger and bitterness towards you as well. So we're all learning together. And what we need to do is don't do what I did today. Please don't do that. Oh my God, don't do that. Don't do that. Embrace the new. And be gentle with yourself and be kind with yourself. And stay on your coin. Stay on top of your coin. You can treat yourself, but don't blow your loot. How many of you were raised thinking, oh, well, you'll meet someone, get married, and then, you'll be taken care of? I wasn't raised that way. Stay on your coin. And if you're a single mother, you need to be careful. Let go of the dynamic of thinking that there needs to be both a father and a mother figure. Because sometimes it's a much more peaceful environment when you're raised by a single parent, sometimes, than if you're in a situation that's tumultuous. All right? Good. La Luna, I can't see from here. How will it interfere with our protest? I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, you shouldn't have guilt. And if you have guilt over like divorcing or raising a child by yourself, there should be no guilt. I see beautiful children that have been raised on their own. My sisters and I were raised on our own. I've had two examples of men in my life that have raised boys on their own, and they're amazing. So there shouldn't be any anything like that, in my opinion. It's okay. You can talk just because you're a guy. It doesn't mean you can talk. I do have a call at 8, so ask your question. Um, how does that interfere with our protest? Oh, are you protesting? Jesus. All right, is that what you're doing, protesting? Mm. Well, if you're protesting to make a point and you're ghosting or gaslighting, or what you're doing is the feminine eventually dislikes you and there's no going back because they have had to heal themselves and or call someone else in to help them heal. And if you would have just had clear communication with them, the healing would have taken place like that. And you guys could have went your separate ways, right? Without a bitter Betty and a bent out of shape Ben, right? Or you guys would have worked it out. So that's what that's about. So if you're protesting to the gentleman that said that, oh God, do we have to delete this punk right here? I love this. Let's just hide Manny's stuff. Okay. I love you guys. I hope this reading helped you. It wasn't really a reading, it was just an experience I had today. And I felt, and you better believe I'm going to embrace that. This lighting's horrible too. I don't know what I was thinking doing this big, bright light. My hairy blonde arms. But the gladiolas are pretty, and I learned a very valuable lesson today. Ghosting is, it's a very childish act. It is. But you know what? You know what I noticed with myself too? I had never ghosted anyone, and I ghosted someone uh for like 30 days. It was unintentional, but I did, and I think I hurt him really bad. But I think he's uh too like manly to admit it. Not it was someone else, but I did. I hurt someone because someone hurt me, so it kind of goes hand in hand. So you have to be really, really, oh, you're welcome. You have to be really, really careful. Why was his comment deleted? Oh yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't. Thank you for hiding that comment. Don't share links in my chat, whoever you are. Please don't do that. Unless it's one of mine. That's kind of rude. All righty. Also, I wanted to clarify something. I didn't realize this. The reader I'm sharing with you, it's plural. She's called Queen of Cups, plural. She's from Sweden. So when I say Queen of Cups, I'm saying Queen of Cups, plural. I actually came across another reader that was really decent today, too. It wasn't plural, but I really love plural. Queen of Cups with an S on the end. A lot of learning takes place there. And remember, readings can be opposite. It's either your sign or someone you're dealing with. You need to really, really, really get in touch with your soul's path, and then everything comes into alignment. And I'll let you know how that date goes, you guys. I will let you know. I will Snapchat that. I will Instagram that. I will YouTube that. I will have a mic right here, and you better believe I'll let you know. And you know what? I had accepted a Valentine's Day date. I don't know what happened to that, or a date around Valentine's Day. I don't know what happened to that. But anyway, I love you guys, and I hope I might delete this because I feel like I don't know if it had any value or anything. And you guys, thank you so much for subscribing. Super appreciate it. Super appreciate it. Extendeds are available for 97. I'm going to be shooting. So I only have Aries, Capricorn, and I'm uploading 2 more right now, and I'm going to be shooting 2 more tonight. So for the extendeds, and I'll get the rest of the May readings out this week. I've got a really busy week of being in and out of town. Love you guys. Uh-oh, gotta go. I got a call coming up. Okay, bye. Bye.